Howdy. This Sunday is Palm Sunday. It's the beginning of Holy Week. And during this week, we look at those events that lead up to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ, that great moment where salvation is secured, where creation is redeemed. Jesus went to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. And usually Passover does fall about the same time as Easter. Now, because of the quirk of the calendar, Passover is in late April this year. But there's a reason why God worked so hard to make sure that there was a connection between these events. He wants us to connect the dots. There are other places where Jesus says things where it's clear that we're supposed to connect the dots. When talking about the Last Judgment, Jesus says, as in the days of Noah, one will be taken and one will be left behind. He wants us to connect those dots. Jesus says, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so the Son of Man will be lifted up. He wants us to connect those dots. Jesus is pointing out that the history of salvation, from the very beginning of Genesis to the very end of Revelation, is one long story of God's intervention and participation in human history for our benefit. God has always had a plan for our salvation. He's always been on our side. And he wants us to connect the dots so we have that blessed assurance that God has always loved you. Thanks for listening. Adios.